Do you think that sense of American leadership is even real anymore, and is anyone paying attention to it?
In fact, what is amazing about the current situation is that the American behavior in supporting the Israeli aggression against the Palestinians is against the American national interest, if you think about it, because you are engaged now, technically, in a confrontation and in a war against the civilians in Gaza, and dragged back into the Middle East, while you were trying to dedicate most of your resources to confront China and Russia. Now back into the Middle East. And you should remember that the Americans have been here long time ago. I mean, they haven't departed from the region, but of course they reduced their military presence in the region. They have been here in Afghanistan. They have fought a war in Iraq. And in both wars, they were basically, they had to withdraw without achieving any strategic target, especially in Afghanistan and, of course, even in Iraq. So while they were busy fighting this kind of ghost war, the Chinese and the Russians were building themselves. So the strategic interest of the Americans at that moment in time was sacrificed for an interest which did not achieve to them security as they thought it will. And the Chinese now are much more powerful than ever. Now they are coming back to the Middle East, the Americans. And once you are in this region, and if this war goes longer and longer, it means you will dedicate more resources, and you might get directly involved in confrontation with Iran or with Hezbollah, with any other kind of force in the region. And who is going to be happy? The Chinese. Who is going to be happy? The Russians, of course, because again, the Americans are engaged in another war and they are dedicated resources to that. So I cannot understand how an administration like that puts its, direct domestic interest above the national interest. It seems that the decay of leadership in the West, by the way, not only in America, but also look at Britain. So it's not Biden, it's also Sunak, it's also Scholz, it's also, the French, Macron. This kind of leadership has lost that sense of strategy, and it is short-sighted, and it is implicating the West in something bigger than what the West could handle, while the West is preparing to confront China and to confront Russia. So yes, I agree that what's happening in America is very bizarre, actually, very strange.